Hello guys, welcome to the Indian Review channel. Today I'm going to review a new product. It's a SilverStone CPU air cooler. The model number is KR03, you can see, and the supported sockets, both AMD and Intel, all the latest 10th generation Intel and the 5000 and 3000 series AM4 socket is supported by this CPU cooler. I got this cooler for around 680 rupees from my local store, and so I really got it. But the MRP on the box is around 1999, 2000 rupees, so it's a very good deal. I was actually planning to go for the Deepcool Gamex 400 V2, which was around 1300, so I got it for half the price, but it's slightly smaller than it. Now let's open this box and see what are the contents. First you see a user manual with all the contents, an instruction guide. Now you have the CPU block with the fan and all the attachments that are necessary for installation. Now for Intel you have a plastic bracket, and for AMD it's basically ready to use. You just have to clip it in place. Now let's take out the CPU block. Now compared to the Gamex 400 by Deepcool, it has got a 92mm CPU fan, whereas the Gamex comes with a 120mm CPU fan, so it's slightly smaller. The height of this CPU cooler is a 125mm, so you'll get a lot of clearance if you have a smaller case, whereas on the Gamex it's around 155. I'm also planning to get the Gamex for my new build. Now in the package you get a standard locking brackets, transparent brackets and locking pins, along with a small amount of thermal paste. Now for this price point I can't complain, but I think the locking pins could have been a little bit better quality, but it's very light and flimsy, so be careful while installation. If it breaks, they don't provide you with any replacement. And the retaining bracket, which is for the Intel sockets, it's also made of plastic, so I would suggest don't use that much force, otherwise it might break. Let's take a look at the CPU block. To be honest, the packaging is quite good. Nothing is there. Now this fan has a blue LED glow to it, no RGB, and it's locked into place by two metal clips. Be careful not to bend the aluminum fins, as the metal bracket is tightly held into place. So if you can, you don't need to remove it, but I just wanted to see. So once the fan is secured using the clips, it's extremely difficult for it to fall off or come out. Now for this price, the heat block, the CPU block is pretty decent weight. Now I bought the CPU block for my 4th generation i5 4670, which uses LGA 1150 socket. So and the 1200 is for the 10th generation Intel CPUs. So you have to select the middle locking position, and you have to insert the transparent brackets, and it will lock into place with a clicking noise. Yeah. So make sure before buying this that your desktop supports this cooler supports your particular processor socket or bracket size. This is the first time I am actually using a custom, not a custom, how do you call aftermarket air cooler, because usually my stock cooler performed well, but now the stock cooler is like overheating and not performing that well, so I decided to change it. Now this is the stock cooler. It's almost 6 years now, and it's not giving that much of a performance even after changing thermal paste, so I'm changing it. So take a screwdriver, flathead screwdriver, and twist the what do you call it, locking screws to unlock it. And then you have to pull back the pins to take it out. Now I'm going to clean out the thermal paste and the dust nearby the processor. You can see huge size difference between the stock and the SilverStone CPU cooler. After I've cleaned it up with isopropyl alcohol, I'm going to show you how to install it. Just push it in, it will automatically click into place. I suggest if you have a smaller case or if you find it difficult, take out the whole motherboard and do it, because later in the video you'll see it's kind of difficult to install the CPU cooler while it's in the case. So now you insert the plastic black locking pins and it will secure into place. Now I'm going to try to install the cooler. Let's apply a small amount of thermal paste. The company provided decent amount and decent quality thermal compound. I think you can use it 1 or 2 times. Now you can see one of the locking clips is smaller and one is bigger, so the smaller clip should be on the inner side, and I've locked the wires in place, and the direction of the fan should be facing from front to back. Sorry about that. Now here you can see, since I have not taken the motherboard out of the case, it will be a bit difficult and you might risk breaking something, but as you can see I'm struggling a lot to install it. When it clicks into place, it is secured solidly. Now I've turned on the PC. By the way, the sound, the fan sound is coming from the graphics card. I suggest not to do this, but so it's really silent. The GPU fan sound is the ones that very loud. Otherwise, it's very silent, and it has got a cool looking blue color. Now I already have done a thermal stress test with the stock cooler, as well as I'm going to do a thermal test with the new cooler. So as you can see, if you want, you can skip forward. I've added subtitles in the video, and you can see the benchmark. Fast forward the video. I've run the thermal test for around 5 minutes. Now this is the thermal benchmark for the SilverStone CPU cooler on the left side versus the stock Intel CPU cooler temperature on the right side. You can pause in and take a look at the temperatures, and I fast forward the video so you can easily check all the temperatures and performance. In my opinion, the SilverStone CPU cooler was able to cool down the processor by 15 to 20 degrees centigrade while gaming under 100% stress. Earlier, when I used to game, it used to reach around 68, 70, 72 degrees Celsius, and now I've gamed on this. I don't have footage, but games like Rainbow Six Siege or Star Wars Battlefront, they used to cross 70, 75. Now it doesn't even cross 60 degrees. Maximum it reached was 59, 58 degrees Celsius. So for this price range, I would say it's a very good performance. You can always go for the higher end variants, but for me it was more than enough on an old PC. So anyway, if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel.